How you guys doing? My name is Jason Rosati. I'm here with Rosati Strength Systems. We're here to show you how you can systematize your strength training and how you can make that better for jiu-jitsu. So that way you're better able to recover and you can minimize your injuries while getting stronger. So in today's video, we're going to be covering what is a jiu-jitsu athlete if you're a jiu-jitsu athlete and what you should be doing if you are a jiu-jitsu athlete. Now this might come as a surprise to you, but a lot of you are jiu-jitsu athletes and you might not even know it. A lot of people don't even correlate themselves to an athlete. They have this belief that they're just kind of a hobbyist and they're just doing this for fun, while some people may more affirm to themselves that they are an athlete. And I believe that if you do affirm yourself as an athlete, you're going to do more of the things that an athlete does. So what exactly is a jiu-jitsu athlete? Well, first off, let's talk a little bit about what an athlete is. An athlete is somebody who goes out into sport competition endeavors, some type of competition. They're looking to improve their physical attributes and they're staying disciplined to their training routine so that way they can see the progress that they want. For many of you, a lot of you want to compete, even if it's just for fun. And when you're trying to compete and you're trying to compete against other people in a physical sport like jiu-jitsu, I think it's important that you consider yourself as an athlete. So what type of things do athletes do? Athletes take care of their nutrition. They take care of their strength training. They stay disciplined to a routine. They do the things that they need to do in order to recover, and they're able to focus in on particular skill development. What exactly is a jiu-jitsu athlete? In my opinion, a jiu-jitsu athlete is just somebody who is looking to do jiu-jitsu competitions. I think if you are a white belt and you're older and you're just kind of finding the sport and you want to challenge yourself, I think it's important that you consider yourself as an athlete. Maybe you are a purple belt who's trying to become a high-level competitor. Well, then obviously you need to consider yourself an athlete. But I think it's important that most of us start to identify with this new feeling of being an athlete so that way you do the things that an athlete does. So, what type of things would a jiu-jitsu athlete do? Well, a jiu-jitsu athlete needs to put the time in their schedule, and this is the most important thing, right? We need to create strong routines around your jiu-jitsu training that are going to enforce you to do these things that are going to help you recover. Because let's be honest, if you're doing jiu-jitsu anywhere between 3 to 6, 7 days a week, you are going to be putting yourself in vulnerable positions to be getting hurt. You're probably going to feel neck pain, you're going to feel shoulder pain, you're going to feel back pain, knee pain, hip pain, left toe pain, all of this pain. You're going to be putting yourself in a position to injure yourself. We're going to be training with our shoulders in a constant concave. We're rolling with our lower back in constant flexion. Our hips can take a lot of brunt. And if we are not doing the things outside of our jiu-jitsu training to counteract these negative things, then we are going to find ourselves in deep, deep trouble, okay? You are not able to fully recover from your jiu-jitsu training by just pure rest alone. You have to do certain strength exercises and certain recovery protocols in order to fully recover from that training. It's just the state that it is. We need to do exercises that incorporate spinal extension, because we're constantly in a flexion state. We're constantly impinging our hips, so we need to work on our glutes and work on external rotation of our hips. So we're putting ourselves in this frame to take care of our bodies in a proper way. And we're gonna go over now how to actually properly structure a strength training routine so that way you can decrease your sense of injuries. Okay, so I wanna make sure that you're in the right place. So if you're somebody who's doing jiu-jitsu regularly and you're looking to compete, then you need to incorporate these strategies into your routine. Even if you're not trying to compete, if you want longevity with jiu-jitsu, then you need to be doing some sort of strength training on the side. So, what does a strength training routine look like? What does an effective plan look like? Well, we can get into the nitty-gritty of what type of, strength exercises and all the things that you need to do in order to do that. But what I want to do, because I believe that many of you already have a good foundation of what exercises are at least, that we're going to jump more into how to actually structure these things. So most of you have probably seen before on how to build muscle, get stronger through compound movements, progressive overload. These are probably terms you've already heard of. But how do you actually structure it around your jiu-jitsu training? Well, for me, for myself and for my clients, I like to divide training protocols into different phases, okay? And we go through this 4-phase process that constantly gets repeated in order to counteract a lot of the negatives, the pain, and the injuries that come from jiu-jitsu, as well as get ourselves in a stronger state and improve our physical attributes, specifically, especially for competition. So, whenever you're jumping into a new strength routine, the first thing that you need to focus on is technique and skill development within your strength training. When you're trying to strength train, if you're doing things wrong, you could actually increase your chance of injury, and you're also going to decrease the results that you get. So we usually go through a 3-week process of developing movement patterns like a squat, press, pull, lunge, rotation, things of that nature, things that people can do with lighter weight, you should do with lighter resistance in order to develop. During this technique and skill development phase is where we're really going to see a lot of the pain that you could be experiencing from your training start to make a big decrease. So what this does is it puts you in a position to now enter phase 2, which is when you do a strength phase. This is where you're really trying to use those principles of compound movements, progressive overload, trying to move up in weight or repetitions for the next 3 or so weeks. During this phase, we're really going to focus on a higher nutrition focus where we're really upping the protein intake. We're trying to get you as strong as possible within this 3 to 4 week period. So what you could probably do in this period is progress each and every week, and this is going to stimulate a lot of your muscle growth. This is going to stimulate that strength. So we first develop the skill and the technique of how you can perform these exercises safely and correctly. Then we're focusing on progressing those movements through more weight or more repetitions to get stronger. Then, once you have that base of strength and skill, now we can start to incorporate some power type of training. This is going to be more on the plyometric side. This is going to help you more with the scrambling effect, with the faster speed. More power is going to help you translate that, especially more so for the competition focus side of things. That's where that's really going to help, as well as it's going to set you up to build more strength down the road. Then, once you go through this power phase where you're focusing more on the plyometric side of things, then we do a coordination and reaction skill-based type of phase, where for the next 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to be focused more on things like footwork, mobility, core strength, rotational exercises, and also reaction-based type of exercises that it could involve things with like bands or lacrosse balls or things of that nature. These are typically things that you see more in field sports, but we can actually translate some of those things to help us with the performance on the mat. Especially the reaction timing things is really going to help improve your timing and neurological connection to what you should be doing in certain time frames. And that especially is going to be perfect when you're leading up to a competition, because you could be getting a little bit sore from your strength and power phase training, but the coordination reaction based stuff is really going to just be focused more on movement based exercises that are going to decrease your soreness and get yourself primed and ready for competition. Then from there, you can start to decide if you want to reboot the program and go back to the beginning where you focus more on skill development technique and go through that, or depending on your goal, we may start to customize. So now that we're starting to develop ourselves a plan and what a phases of training could look like, the most important thing is being able to put information into action. And this is where most people struggle with in general, is that they have these limiting beliefs that stop them from actually putting in the work. And a lot of you probably have already heard a lot of these things. So a lot of you guys might already know some of this information, but are having trouble actually putting it into practice and putting it into action. There are 3 main reasons why somebody would have this information and not act on it accordingly. And we're gonna dive deep into each one of those 3 things. So the first thing is that you feel that there is a lack of time in order for you to actually get in your strength training. Now, a lot of the times when we feel like we're lacking time is that there's this sense of overwhelming feeling that we are not able to do, when I think if we really just take a step back and we look at our situation and look at the perspective, everybody's got 30 to 60 minutes, 2 to 4 times a week. I've trained a ton of people that have families, children, work, they train jiu-jitsu and they still manage to fit their strength training in. Just sometimes we have to get a little bit creative with it. A younger person might be able to spend more time at the gym and be able to do more things, but just because that somebody else has more time than you doesn't mean that you can't get in effective strength training. Maybe you just need to have a slightly different approach. That could be building out your home gym. That could be making a priority as far as what you do. See, a lot of the time, it's not that we don't have the time, it's that we lack the clarity of what needs to get done in order to get us where we need to be. And that's going to be the ultimate game-changing perspective shift that you're going to experience. If you could be able to focus in on what actually needs to be done and you're able to plan it out effectively, then you can fit that stuff in. You just have to get over that limiting belief that you feel like you don't have time. Now, the second belief that people have is that they feel that they have a lack of energy, that they're too tired in order to do their strength training. They're already sore from jiu-jitsu, so how are they going to do strength training on top of all that? Maybe you have other responsibility as well that's really overwhelming you, and you just feel so tired and you feel that you're not able to actually put these things into practice. You see, the thing is that the strength training is actually going to increase your energy if you do it properly, right? We're not trying to just strength train and body build as if we were not doing jiu-jitsu. No. What we're doing is having an effective program that's going to aid in recovery. There also could be other things that you need to be incorporating to aid in that recovery, right? Could be nutrition. You could be not eating enough, which a lot of jiu-jitsu athletes do. You could not be sleeping well enough that it could be a little bit better. Maybe you need to change some of those things up in order to increase your energy levels. But being able to face those challenges on and tackling those on is better than just continuously putting it off, and then you never really get to where you want to be. And the third limiting belief that a lot of people experience is that they feel that they lack the motivation to actually go ahead and do it. So maybe you have the energy and the time, but you just feel like, what's the point? What's the point of putting yourself through that struggle? What's the point of challenging yourself with these strength workouts? What's the point of putting that in your schedule? You feel that it's not worth doing. What's the point of doing it if it's going to just be super inconvenient? So the main thing that you need to focus on, if this is you need to understand what the benefits are and to know that the benefits actually outweigh the consequences of it. Because 10 times out of 10, when somebody starts doing some type of strength training routine alongside their jiu-jitsu, they will start to feel better, they start to feel stronger, and then that motivation usually stays with them because they actually know that there's a reward at the end of their hard work. So let's challenge that for a second. Do you really think that not doing strength training is going to help you? You really think that having healthier joints and being stronger isn't going to help with your performance, isn't going to help you live a higher quality life? Of course not. I mean, we live in a different type of society now that enforces us to stay comfortable and to stay easy and to not challenge ourselves. Challenging yourself, fitting that stuff into your schedule and doing it is always going to be worth it in the end. So you need to change that thought process from why would this be worth it to this is worth it for me. Now, if you can't make it to a regular gym and do like your standard compound movements, there's tons of things that you can do at home. From bodyweight exercises to a simple set of resistance bands that you can get on Amazon for $25. There are ways to progress, and there are specific type of exercises especially that we could call like prehab or rehab or like physical therapy type of exercises that you can do on a regular basis that's going to keep your body strong and more mobile for jiu-jitsu. So guys, that's going to be wrapping up the video for today. Thanks so much for watching. The main focus of this video is to help give you guys some ideas of structure of what a good strength training program would look like for you as a jiu-jitsu athlete, as well as try to tackle some of those limiting beliefs to get you out of that comfort zone and to start putting this information into practice. And like I said before, information is only as good as what can be applied. So if you want a little bit more accountability and if you want to join a great community that's going to help support you through your journey of getting a stronger, more mobile, less injured athlete, then go ahead and check out the link in the description below. You can apply to join our group program where we're actually able to write the program for you based off home workouts, based off the gym, and we're able to guide you through this transformation process a little bit more. So if you're into that, go ahead and check that below. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure that you like, comment, and share, subscribe, as that really helps the channel grow. So thanks for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.